Hello and welcome back to episode 2 in this Let's Play Satisfactory series. We ended episode 1 by setting up the very basics of automation for production in our factory, and now we'll continue that as we progress through the remainder of the hub upgrades and beyond. So for hub upgrade 4, we still need the 75 iron rods and 100 iron plates. Let's see if that's ready. Iron rods are ready. In this early stage here, we need to keep supplying our smelters with iron ore from our portable miners, so I'll refill them now. And we'll make a quick trip to our coal and limestone nodes to retrieve that ore as well. If you lose your node, you can always use your scanner to quickly find it again. It's easy to get lost in the early stages here when it's just a few small portable miners in the middle of a jungle. Now back to our hub. The LED on this smelter is flashing yellow. So we know there's an issue, and the issue is it's out of copper ore. We'll replenish that. Take the completed ingots. Just quickly bust out the rest of these iron plates by hand. Perfect. And that's hub upgrade 4. Hub upgrade 4 unlocked miners for us.
Congratulations. You have unlocked Hub Future Additional Biomass Generator. New buildings, which can be found in the build menu.
And it also included a second biomass generator. That's good. We were at the maximum output for our power grid before. Now we can double that with another biomass burner. We'll fill it up with biomass.
Good luck.
And our first step here should be to get a few miners up on these nodes so that we're not constantly running back and forth from the portable miners. Let's hook up the second biomass burner to our power grid here. You can approach a power pole and hit E, and it'll tell you where you're at in terms of your power supply and consumption. Up until I connected it, the grid was at 20 megawatts, and now we're at a total capacity of 40 megawatts at this point. So we've got a little room to expand. Let's see what we need for our miners Mark 1. We've got 4 nearby nodes. So each miner requires 1 portable miner, and then a few electric rods and some concrete. Looks like we've got everything. Let's come over here and pick up the miners. That'll also pick up the ore, so make sure you've got enough inventory space for that. And we'll put our first one down. The ore will exit where the green arrow is. We're going to need just a few iron plates to make some conveyor belts here. Perfect. We can refill our smelters with ore. And now we're going to run a conveyor belt from the miner to the smelter. At this point, it's important to start considering the production ratios. Let's power this up. I'm running a power line to another power pole and then to my little collection of power poles. So looking at our Mark 1 miner, on a pure node, it produces 120 ore per minute. If this had been a normal node, it would only produce 60, and if it had been an impure node, it would only produce 30 ore per minute. So you can see right away how important it is to find the pure nodes when you can. So our smelter here requires 30 ore per minute. So one Mark 1 miner can supply 4 smelters with ore. We don't really have a means to split this ore production right now, but we quickly will with a few more upgrades. So for the moment, we're just going to run a belt directly from the miner to the smelter. Let's move to this node and we'll set up a second miner. Production, miner. We'll grab a power pole. Probably want a few more iron plates. Each segment of conveyor belt requires 1 iron plate. Let's see where we're at here. Good. So it's immediately obvious the benefit of automating. You're not just sitting at the scrap bench hammering out iron plates and iron rods for hours. Instead, you just quickly collect them from the machine. You're good to go. I'm not super worried about making a clean look at this point for my belts. Once I've got a platform down and I can lock everything to a grid, I can come up with a design that's much more visually friendly and appealing. So now we're going to go down to our copper node. Pick up these portable miners. Put down a Mark 1 miner. Looks like we're going to reach short on belts here. So first let's worry about power. We're out of cable too. Not a problem. Plates. And we'll make some wire and then some cable from the wire. Just quickly see the power requirements for these. Each one produces or requires 5 megawatts. We added 20 so we can support 4 more miners. I think we'll probably restrict ourselves to 3 miners at the moment. 2 for iron, 1 for copper. I'd like to get another constructor going from this copper smelter, turn the ingots into wire. So maybe a little short. See if we can just take it up this ramp rather than go around. Save us a bit of material. Perfect. Alright, the miner's powered. Let's grab some more plates and finish up our belt. Got a few more ingots. Turn the ingots into iron plates. And now we should have enough to finish routing our copper ore to the smelter. I'm going to use a conveyor pole. The conveyor poles are placed automatically when you're laying belts. You can also lay them manually and then adjust their height. You'll click once with the left mouse button to place the position, and then you can move the mouse upward to increase the height, and left click again to lock that. So the belt's done. We should see the ore. Yep, there it comes. Now let's just set up a third constructor. We should have just enough power for that. Constructors cost 3 reinforced iron plates and 2 cable. So we'll make our 3 plates. Requires screws and iron plates. Alright. Do I have enough room here to squeeze in a constructor? Not really. So we'll put it right over here. Everything's really cramped in the early stages. These nodes are really conveniently close together, but there's not a ton of building room next to them. It's not going to be an issue as soon as we start moving into the foundation portion of the game. We may need to move our hub a little bit. That's what we can do. Yeah. We're just going to deconstruct that constructor. Put some of this excess ore in my storage container to free up some inventory space, as well as these miners. Now when you don't have sufficient inventory space and you deconstruct something, a temporary chest is created with the materials you couldn't hold. Now I'm going to rebuild that constructor just a little bit closer here. And put these belts. There we go. That belt from the copper smelter to the constructor. This belt from our second iron smelter to this constructor. And now we just choose the recipes. Iron rods for this, copper wire for this. And since we deconstructed it, we lost access to the power grid. We'll just have to set it up again. Put a power pole here, and run cables to each constructor. The LED rods should turn green whenever they're functional. Excellent. So with the last upgrade, we also gained access to storage containers. This is a good tool for gathering your resources. As you can see, this is the output for these constructors, and that's limited to a full stack, whatever the stack size for that object is. For copper wire, it's 500. For iron rods and iron plates, it's only 100. So once they reach that limit, they'll stop production. But if you have a storage container, and then you run a conveyor belt from the constructor to the container, they'll keep producing, provided they're supplied with materials, until the storage container is full. And the storage container, this initial one, has room for 24 stacks. So let's get one more container here for the iron plates. Good. So now, whenever we're off exploring or gathering biomass, we can be confident that we'll still be producing copper wire, iron rods, and iron plates. And we can easily collect them from the storage containers upon our return. Now let's take a look at the final hub upgrade and what's required. Hub upgrade 5 grants us one more inventory slot, one more arm equipment slot. That's the hand slot here. It'll allow you to have more than one usable item there. The ability to construct biomass burners to increase our power supply. The space elevator, that's important for unlocking future tiers of technology. Object scanner and the beacon, those are both produced in the equipment workshop. So we'll select the milestone. We'll see that we need 150 iron plates, 150 iron rods, 500 copper wire, all that's being automated, and 30 concrete, which we already have in our inventory conveniently. So we'll put that in, and now I think we need to spend some time gathering biomass. We'll also run down and collect the limestone. And honestly, we should probably take a few more of our extra miners and just get them started on the limestone as well. So in the early mid-game, you reach a point where you can start supplying your factory with power from an automated process of coal and then oil. But in the initial stages of the game, it's all collecting biomass and then burning it. Although we should be due for one more efficiency upgrade for the biomass. We turn it into biofuel, which has a longer burn time than the biomass. Alright, now we've got 5 portable miners collecting limestone. Just as soon as we can build our own biomass burners, putting a full-time miner there and turning it into concrete will be a top priority. We'll want all of that concrete to start building the foundation for our starter factory here. Also, the space elevator requires a fair amount of concrete itself. Right now, I'm thinking we'll probably start our factory on this hill and then extend it out over the water. dog in the background. He's dreaming right now. Alright, let's go and see where we're at on these resources, or these components. Alright, so we've got the rods that we need. Getting close to the amount of wire that we need. Still need several plates. In the meantime, we'll continue collecting biomass. Got a lot of trees in the way. We don't have a way to really remove those yet, although that happens shortly after we unlock our space elevator and the first new tiers of research. Alright, let's run back, convert all of those leaves into biomass, and then we should be nearly ready for the upgrade. We're finished with that. We also gain the ability to convert wood into biomass, and wood converts into biomass at a much better ratio than leaves. Which is nice. You need 10 leaves to produce 6 units of biomass, but only 5 wood to produce 25 units of biomass. So wood will go a lot farther towards powering your factory than the leaves will. Let's take out that wood and just convert it to biomass over here. Okay. Let's go to our burners, just top them off with biomass. Re-equip my zapper. So close. And in fact, I've got the ingots. I can just go ahead and make a few iron plates by hand here to get us over the edge. All right. Alright, the hub's now fully upgraded.
Congratulations. You have unlocked Hub Future Molecular Analysis Machine, also known as the MAM. Building, biomass burner. Building, space elevator. Equipment, object scanner. Equipment, beacon. Additional hand equipment slot. Motivational message. Congratulations, you succeeded in every provided task. On behalf of Fixit Incorporated, I thank you for your current and future service.
Alright, so with the final upgrade,
Additional knowledge. The hub
which is
terminal
not
has
done.
been converted to give access to milestones there to ensure you progress along Fixit-approved protocols.
Okay. So with the final upgrade came this
Additionally, the MAM provides the opportunity
little
to send samples of
uh,
xenobiology and other
jet-propelled
materials
storage
item
container
relevant to R&D in exchange for appropriate rewards.
that will
Note:
transport
future developments
the
should be aimed at
materials you
constructing the
input for
space
upgrades up
elevator and
to
thus
some
initiating
orbital
project
facility.
assembly.
And then
Good luck.
it'll return after a specific amount of time. It varies by each upgrade. So here that it unlocked tier 1 and 2. A lot of potential upgrades there. And we've also gotten access to the MAM, the molecular analysis machine, which we can use to research any of the items we found on this planet and unlock new technologies based on them. We'll start with the green power slug. Retrieve that from our box. Select the slug. Put in as many samples as it needs. It only needs one slug. Begin analysis. We've got 5 minutes for that. And then you can see the slug over here actually being analyzed by the MAM. So let's take a look at our potential upgrades here. There are a few that are really important. Most of utility is just walls and doors, but biofuel, that's huge. That's going to really increase the efficiency of our biomass. Logistics, this is big. This gives us the ability to split or merge conveyor belts, as well as conveyor lifts, which are good for putting belts over vertical distances. Personal storage, this is just convenience, a good one, but not essential right now. More walls and some stairs. We're not really at a point where we need those yet. Part assembly, this is good. This assembler allows you to automate production of equipment that requires 2 different materials. It's got inputs for 2 different materials there. This is going to be a good one. The chainsaw. With the chainsaw, you can clear out pretty much every tree and give yourself a more clear field to work with. Jump pads, not really essential right now. Same with walkways. So we're going to prioritize first utility, and then probably logistics and the obstacle clearing. So for utility, 500 wire, 150 rods, 150 plates. Really, as soon as we can, we want to start splitting our line of ore, increasing our number of smelters, and then similarly increasing the number of constructors to really boost the output of iron plates. Having only one constructor, that's really slowing us down right now. While we wait, let's go back and collect the limestone and then convert all of that limestone into concrete. We can lay down the first bricks of the foundation that we'll put our starter factory on. We can clean things up a lot. And then we also need to consider the space elevator. That's going to unlock future tiers beyond tier 2. The space elevator is huge, and it's going to require a lot of materials to get that up and running. this limestone as well. And start making concrete. When you're looking for a
The
place
man has completed its analysis.
to start putting down foundations for your factory, you generally want to find the highest point. You can exclude any like outcroppings like that if you want to, and I will be. But you want to find the highest point and then build a few blocks above that. So I'm going to go to foundations. I'm going to use the 8x4. I'm going to map it to my hotbar by hitting the 5 key while I have it selected. So this is about the highest point in this area. I'm going to line it up here when I'm facing north exactly. I want the foundation aligned with the directional input just for consistency. Alright, so this would be the first layer. I like to go up at least one additional layer. There's always going to be a rock that you missed, and this will just give you a little bit of breathing room, so you're not running into any obstacles that are going to like break the line of your perfect setup. Now we'll make a ramp to get up there. It's the best way here. Let's do this. And at this level, I'll start constructing my factory. Fortunately, there are no real gravitational physics to worry about in Satisfactory. I could extend this line of concrete platforms infinitely, and as long as and it will never fall. Like, gravity is just not a factor in terms of buildings, though obviously if I would walk off the edge of this, I would fall and take damage if I don't land in water. Not quite enough to finish the perimeter, but this will be a decent amount of area to start our factory on. Although it's going to grow substantially, exponentially. It's going to be big. But building out in the air like this over water, there will be like, no like, mountains or trees that we have to worry about clearing as we expand. Excellent. So we're gonna unlock our biofuel here. Now with these new upgrades, we actually launched the pod. Right out here and take a look.
Milestone reached. You have unlocked several structures aimed to provide the first needed to build basic factory infrastructure. Additionally, the biofuel blueprint will ensure improved fuel consumption of biomass burners. Additionally, you can now build the space elevator, which is integral to your contribution to project assembly.
Alright. So the little cargo pod will be returned in 2.5 minutes. It's pretty quick for this one. For later tiers it is longer. Since we can produce biofuel, I think it's just makes sense to remove this biomass. You can see the power just flipped off as our demand exceeds supply. And we're going to take all of this biomass out of our box and convert it all into biofuel. And from here on out, we'll convert all of our leaves and wood into biofuel. Just to really make it stretch as far as we can, so we're not spending hours and hours out collecting leaves. That's not really thrilling gameplay. And we'll make a real push to get to coal power just as quickly as we can. That'll be the first unlock that we make after we build the space elevator. Alright. Just keep this in our inventory. And pop these biofuels back into our biomass burners. Pull the lever down to turn the power back on. So right now we're almost at the limit of our capacity, and I think if everything is running at full tilt, we should be at about 39 megawatt hours out of 40. So we need to increase our available power supply. That means more biomass burners.
Milestone exchange concluded. Fix-it freighter re-entry complete.
I think it might be smarter to just at this point, rather than continuing to build in this area, just to make the priority finishing this initial platform and then moving everything onto the platform, getting a nice clean look, and really starting the basics of our automation. I'll probably end this episode right here, and off camera I'm just going to continue making concrete and filling in the center of this platform. and that's what we'll pick up on episode 3. So thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Post in the comments with any questions you have, and I'll be back in episode 3 with more Satisfactory.